I want to show you another simple one tool wood carving that you can do in just a few minutes. You can add this design to a rail apron or a box or anything just to kind of spice up your project just a little bit with a quick and easy carving. All right, stick with me. Okay, in order to start this carving, we just need to give it some layout lines, basically a crosshair. And then I took this template and I made a circle, and you'll see why in just a second. Very simple layout. This is a 1-inch, number 8 sweep, 1 inch wide. And the reason we put the circle here is because you're going to line up the corners of the chisel on each line, but without a reference mark, that is the circle there, you could twist this carving tool and it would alter the shape of your finished carving. So you want to take and put the corners of the chisel on each point here, 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 here. And that's the only reason for the layout, because otherwise you can shift the chisel and it'll change it. Okay, so we're going to take the corner, put it on that point, put it on that point, and we're going to set in. I might even grab a mallet here, kind of help it along. This is a piece of walnut. We're just going to do this for all 4 corners. Okay, once you've set in and you've got this diamond pattern, you're just going to take the chisel, the middle of the chisel, come close to the center point. You can be outside it a little bit, and then push in and rock the chisel. And you're going to take out that little chip. I'm just going to turn this around. Same thing on each corner. This one might need a little bit of adjustment. A little bit of cleanup. I don't even have this piece of wood locked down. It's just setting up against those stops. You could if you wanted to. So essentially, we now have a little diamond pattern. Hopefully you can see that. Now you can leave it right there alone. That's good. You could take a chisel and you could kind of roll over this edge if you wanted to. Kind of give it a little bit more dimension. Or you could just take a straight chisel and you could just, if you wanted just a quick and easy design, this is it. Then you can put it on a box or an apron or anything you want. If you wanted to take a step further, you could do a number of different things. I'll just show you one. You can make a straight line across from each point. Again, set in. And I'll show you what we'll do with it. I think you can now see how those layout marks help, because it helps you find those corner points. And then you can come back and just give it a little back cut like that. Up to your imagination. And you have a nice little carving that you can put on a box, or, like I said, an apron rail or anything. You know, these days, heavily carved furniture and all is kind of out, but you know, one central carving is kind of a little sweet spot. Shows just an extra level, and it usually looks nice on a project. So now you say, okay, Mark, great. You showed us how to make a little diamond. All right, what do we do now? Well, I often use this to solve problems. For instance, on this box, a friend gave me this Veritas draw knife. So I was pretty much restricted to the size of the box based on the tool itself. So we ended up with a box that was 3.5. Well, with the lid maybe, let's see. 3.5 by a little over 12 and a quarter. And if you've heard of the golden rectangle, you'll know that this box is way too wide for its height to be pleasing to the eye. So what I did was I put this little carving here to kind of break up the eye into two sections. So you kind of take a little bit of that length out. You could also do that with a frame. You could put a center, you know, style in here or whatever, but this is just one way of doing it. So these small carvings can be used to actually solve problems. Let me move you over to the whiteboard and I'll kind of show you a little bit of design stuff. Now, if you just came for the carving, we're good. If you want to hang out and listen to me talk just a little bit about design, stick with me. All right, so we said our box is 3.5 inches high. By 12 and a quarter, right? So by the golden rectangle, And I'll show you, this is way too long for its height to be pleasing to the eye. So again, what I did was I put that emblem here to break this up. Because if you take 3.5 times 1.618, that gives you the ratio that is supposedly pleasing to the eye. And I would look up Fibonacci, golden rectangle. Have you ever seen a piece of furniture or a house or anything that was really well done, but you said to yourself, gosh, there's something off about it. There's something that just is not pleasing about it. And if you really thought about it, most of the time it's the proportions are off. You've heard people talk about the bones. The bones are good. Yeah, well, part of that is proportion. So the golden rectangle, in this case, 3.5 times 1.618. So that's saying that this should be, this here, this length should be 5.66 or about 5 11/16, something like that. So that shows you what this is. So if you take half of 12.25, that's 6 1/8. So we're roughly close from here to here. Again, we used this to solve a problem because we couldn't alter the size of the box because of the tool that we were putting in it, but we wanted it to be pleasing to the eye as well and look nice. All right, so again, I would encourage you to look up Fibonacci, golden triangle. It's all based on nature and the proportions that we all as human beings find pleasing. And if you're anywhere close to it, you should be okay. So let's take a box while we're talking about proportions. Let's take a box that's 5 inches high, and we'll say this is 6 inches. No, we'll say this is 10 inches long. Okay? But say this box doesn't particularly fit with what you want to do. You want to take this measurement and you want to increase this to 7. So what would this leg be? What would the length be? So what you do is set up a proportion problem, and I use this all the time. So here it goes. 5 is to 10. 5 is to 10 as 7 is to x, our unknown, right? Cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply 5x equals 70, right? You take this 5, you divide it into 70. So x equals 70, I think it's 14. Let's see, 70 divided by 5. Yeah, 14. Okay. So 14 is the number of x right here. So we've kept the same proportion. The face of this box or this cabinet or whatever it is, the look of it even though we've increased the size, the height, we've now made it longer, which proportionally keeps it the same. Hopefully that makes sense. But this is really simple once you kind of get it. You know, this is to that as this is to that. You cross, multiply, divide, and you find out what your unknown is. Okay, here's another quick example. Suppose that you have a plan for a cabinet or whatever that is 24 inches wide by 40 inches tall. Okay? But you want to fill a particular spot in a room or whatever, but you want it to look the same. Maybe a customer doesn't want it 24 inches, they want it 32 inches. So they want the cabinet 32 inches wide. So now, how tall do we go in order to keep it proportionally the same? Again, we set up a proportion problem. Very simple. Let me get my construction master out here. All right. So we're going to say that 24 is to 40 as 32 is to X, our unknown there, right? We're going to cross multiply and divide. So 24x equals 32 times 40. 32 times 40 is 1280. Okay, so we're going to take this and put it over here. 24. So 1280 divided by 24 is 53.33. Okay, so your X is 53 inches, and 0.33 is 5/16. 53 and 5/16. All right, so the look of 24 by 40 is going to be the same as 32 by 53 and 5/16. All right, well, I hope that helps you out a little bit. I know it involves some math, and a lot of people don't like math, but math is just a part of everyday life. I never liked it. When I was in school, I'm sitting there at my desk thinking, when will I ever use this stuff? But I do. I'm a general contractor also, use it in building all the time. It's all math. Building furniture, all math problems. So learn how to use math to your advantage and you'll be more successful. All right, hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next one.